All right, podcast is back in sesh, Chris. Are you excited about that? Are you disappointed? What's your feeling? Your inner deepest?
I'm excited.
thoughts?
Mike T just told me it's been June 10th was the last podcast we did.
Yeah, it was
So
a
over a
long
month.
run. It was a long run. So today will be a little bit different format than our normal Friday podcast, but I felt compelled to re-engage with the peoples and get back to normal, some sense of normalcy. And I wanted to, kind of monologue here the trip and what we all went through and where we're at with the house, and a few more videos to do to kind of wrap up I think there's one more vlog, and then while I was putting together the masterpiece of what phase one looks like of the Helen house, but kind of wanted to take everybody through the story of the last 36 days that I missed out on everything, and kind of dig into that. Before we get started, you have some amazing questions I should answer, or anything pertinent?
I do have some questions here specific to the house, and we have actually, one thing you might want to address here at the beginning. MX304 said this doesn't look like Italy. You're right. Matt didn't make it to Italy. Their memory is supposed to be there.
Yeah, I'll chronicle that in my story here, I think.
Okay.
I wrote a script.
No, okay.
Yeah, no,
Nice.
I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't do anything. I just ran over here. Literally ran. I'm messing with some audio equipment and trying to fix the M2, and just I got my day started at like noon. Because it's just getting interrupted after interruption after meeting. It's just freaking crazy. So I like being up there because of that.
Yeah, no meetings up there.
Yeah, no interruptions.
All right, so a couple quick things here on the house. Evidently, you're not alone with your carpenter bees.
Yeah.
Best tip, according to Ridiculous Details, who might be Ben Finner in the chat, I can give for carpenter bees is a badminton racket and go to town. I got 15 on the first day, and then I rarely have seen any since.
Oh, nice.
There you go. There's one suggestion. And then this is from Josh Verdeek on Facebook. I think you mentioned there'd be a Cliff's Notes of what to do, where to eat, places to go, etc.
Yep.
Sort of your recommended things and places to save folks from having to figure out one from square one each time.
Yep.
Will that be available to the public before or only guests of the house? It would be helpful to sell the wife and friends into going, having some of that to highlight the best to go.
So I want everything to be public. We're going to put I made several videos when we were up there, which we'll talk about. But I want you to be able to navigate the site and dig into it as if you were going there, and that will sell it, And so what I won't do is I'm not going to release 30 of those videos on the YouTube channel. It'll scare everybody away. So they'll be unlisted on the YouTube channel. So you'll be able to find the playlist. It'll be then linked and posted on the Destination OG site. So to answer his question, yes. So the full suite of everything I come up with, that website is going to be really robust over the years as I go up and really, that's my sales pitch, and that's how I keep it from getting stale and keep people, always booking and keep it always working.
All right, Jonathan Daniel from Facebook. Pumped for this new journey and experience. Not sure I've heard you discuss it yet, Matt, but is there any chance you can touch on home safes? I'm looking into a fire-resistant and water-resistant options. I'm realizing there's really no such thing as proof in this industry, or rather just resistant.
Yeah, it's that where they have a burn rating or how long it takes for it to melt, and what its fire resistance capability is. I mean, certain heat doesn't really matter if it burns for long enough. It can get through. I'm not really an expert. I just tend to err on the side of just buy a Fort Knox. I think from what I understand, they're the sort of industry standard. And know that you're going to pay, now you're going to pay for, somewhere in the $3,000 to $6,000 range for one, depending on how big you get it. And then, there's really not much to do to them. You really need a plug because you want the lights to work. You want lights in it. So I would highly suggest you opt for the light option. And so make sure you have a place to plug it in. I have bolted it to the floor and then have not bolted it to the floor, and the thing weighs 1,000 pounds, so I don't know, or 800 pounds or something like that. So I don't know. They've had a hard time getting it out of your house, but you really should bolt it to the floor. And I think that, like I said, I think the Fort Knox digital safe version I think is kind of the way to go.
All right, last house-related question here before we let you go. With the Gentleman Spec Porsche. Any updates on that, and will that be a Destination OG?
No, that won't be a Destination OG. That's going to be my car, for here. What my long-term plan, once I recover from the pain of paying for all the stuff for the house would be to have a 16 RS there, the 991.1 GT3 RS. I think the Touring will probably never make it up there. That's going to be my low mile, have around town, love fest vehicle, like my E92. So the difference in life will be I've like the two dreams that I drive around in, my 3 miles a week, around here in Lady Lake. And so I'm driving the 800 mile, well now 1,000 mile E92 that's perfection, and the GT3 Touring and the E36, and then I'm getting the G80 and stuff like that for up there.
And then this was recommended from Amazon for Travis on Instagram said this is what helped him get rid of his carpenter bees.
Yeah, well, we're good now because I had Jones Pest Control. I mean, they were dropping out of the sky like it was like a massacre. There were hundreds of them just dropping out. So you go up and dust the hole. And then in the springtime, hopefully, spring or fall, or for spring or summer, I like to refinish all the cedar and have them fill all the holes and stuff. And then Jones will be coming out every couple of months to check on it to make sure that they don't come back. So we got it licked. Cost me about $1,200 for them to come out and really dial it in. Yeah. So anyway, let's tell the story here. So Mike and I were planning to go up to John's garage in Atlanta because it's sort of on the way. It'd be a nice little pit stop, and so we loaded up our cars, loaded up all the stuff we needed. But it just felt like everything we've been doing since Mike came here is always we've been so frantic, like just last second trying to get everything packed. And then I got a death cold, not COVID, but I got a death cold. And so we were supposed to leave Friday, and then we postponed it, and I left Saturday. And the weird thing about my life is that I don't have a boss, I don't have a schedule, and yet I have all these imaginary deadlines that I set. And so my deadline was we're going to be at John's house on 2 p.m. on Friday, and when we weren't there, like I don't know. I have this crushing sense that I'm letting everybody down, and the world knows, and it's all going to come crashing down. And if I didn't have those deadlines, I could see how you could kind of get lazy. So I am thankful for that internal clock that's always ticking. But we ended up leaving and getting up there Saturday, and in normal Matt and Mike fashion, like we literally turned the truck off and went into it immediately, just get to work. And so we had to put the remaining parts of the cabinets together. Mike had to finish the prevost, cut some drywall, do the final 2 hose reels. I was kind of organizing. I need to organize and chronicle, what are we missing? What did that garage, because he wants a complete set of everything. And so what tools were missing, what Milwaukee was missing. We came up with some other things to do. We pulled the osmotic drying system out to bring back here for testing to see if maybe we could fix it. And so we were there. We were there Saturday afternoon, worked till midnight. Sunday, Monday. Also wanted to get an update and get some video footage of the Rytec doors and stuff like that while we were there because the Rytec doors were in. And we just kind of worked through the process of getting as much done as possible. I did a couple of videos which will come out here in a little bit on some of the cars he has there. He has a 900 mile GT2 RS, a 997. He has a 50 mile 911R, a couple of 458s, and a couple of low mileage Lime Rock E92, and then the E39 M5. So we had a bunch of cars there and stuff. So it was fun to just go and check in, stop by. So we stayed there Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then left Tuesday morning. I think Tuesday morning was the 15th when we were closing. So the good news is, we did owner financing. So, if you're not familiar with how that works, is you hire an attorney to do all the title search and title work and all that stuff. And me and the owner negotiate on what the price is going to be, what the terms are going to be, but we don't have to deal with the banks. We don't have to deal with appraisals and surveys and all this nonsense. As long as the title came back clean, then we're good to go. Turns out I didn't realize this till recently. I actually own 4 lots, so it's 4 contiguous lots all put together. 3 of them are useless. They're on the side of the mountain there, down this big gully, but there won't be any houses to the one side of it. The one thing I will probably do is I'll probably order a survey just so I know who owns what. Between the 2 homes, where's the line? Where's the line from properties? Just so I know, and it'd be a good thing to have. So I probably will order a survey at some point when the costs of those come down a bit, which they're already starting to. And so I didn't have to go to closing. We had already filled out all the paperwork, and so I was able to go direct to the house. So we had my M2 and Mike's M3. Now we had grandiose plans of hiking and cruising around and going out to dinner and having a grand old time, but it didn't turn into that. So I think I drove a total of 10 miles. I was there. Plus, I was wound so tightly, and I didn't want to go there and have a panic on the side of the road and ruin the whole trip. So we get there, we get the keys, we do the walkthrough with the previous owner. And it's kind of interesting. The owners, it was the owner, the guy I bought the house from. It was his ex-girlfriend who lived there. I don't know the whole story, but she took great care of it. She didn't know much about all the detailed stuff, but she did pick out all the accents and all the things, all the colored palettes and all the details. But I got to really spend some time now that I own the thing after she took us through the house, and I got to ask some questions and where do you put the garbage cans and stuff like that. Then Kim, my realtor, she's great. She's like, all right, we'll get out of here because we know you guys want to do your thing. So Mike and Jeff and Waba, so they got all their gear out, and Jeff and Waba got all the computer and camera gear all set up. The great part about it is I didn't have to worry about the camera, because Waba was there. I didn't have to worry about the post office and worry about all the vendors and stuff that are going to be coming because Jeff was there. And then, of course, Mike started digging into, what are we going to do with the garage? Now, the difficult part here is that it's like a historic heat wave, right? And we don't have any air conditioning in the garage. And so one of the first calls we made was to get the air conditioner guy out there to see if we could get a mini split. Of course, we got the mini split after all the sweaty stuff was done. But there would have been a bunch of drywall dust and stuff clogging it up anyway, the filters and stuff. So it worked out for us. But the plan was I would focus on the house and Mike would focus on the garage because there really wasn't much I could do other than hold screwdrivers. He spent a solid 10 days of cutting drywall, running electrical, just figuring out how to get all these lights in because they're just the ceiling was had steel I-beams and then had probably 2x12 construction on the floor above. So think I-beam, and then the cross member would have been like 2x12s or 2x8s or whatever the top flooring was. But it was all closed cell foam insulation above it. And so we could get over the I-beams without having to try to blow through them, put a hole in them. But they were, it was a complex task to get all the wires where we needed to get to. Same thing with plumbing. And so those first 10 days in the garage were kind of boring for all of us because we weren't like doing anything fun with it. And so we got there on the Tuesday, the 15th, June 15th. After dealing with John's garage and
14th for the record.
Tuesday the 14th. Yeah. Sorry, Tuesday the 14th. So Wednesday the 15th is when we really got started. You can see the ADT install happened, and so we hit as soon as we get out of the truck, we're hitting it. We're going for it. So Wob and I record the initial tour, which you all saw, which was like here's your introduction to the project. While Mike started kind of gathering his thoughts, figuring out where he's going to get stuff, and started pulling down light fixtures and things like that. And so we had a big task, a big thing ahead of us. And what Mike and I like to do is worst case scenario, we get done early, which never happens, but let's go. Let's just kill it right now. Let's focus on getting as much done as possible. And so we knew that we had scheduled to Tommy and Trevor to bring the U-Haul up on the start of week 2, which would have been that following Monday, right? So we had Tuesday night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we had 6 days, 5-6 days to do some work to kind of prepare, so that way we're bringing the cabinets and all the tools and all that stuff. And so we kind of timed it out pretty close. We almost could have had them come 4 or 5 days later, because we would have had it painted and all that stuff. So the cabinets and stuff sat outside for a while. So it was a mess. I didn't like. So if I could do it again, I'd probably give us a little more time to get prepared, because we also had all the furniture and stuff that they had delivered the previous week. So it was very clear to me, even going up there, the purpose of this trip, phase 1, was furniture. We're going to get furniture in, function, like getting everything functional, make sure everything's working, making the kitchen functional with all utensils and towels and and linens and things like that. And then the garage, we were going to get the garage darn near completed. So now the garage will just be little fun tweaks that we add to it as we find new products, things like that. But I wanted the garage to be complete so that people could really feel like, if they were going to invest in this project with me, share in this idea with me, that they could go there in August or September, and as early as then. Most of the people that booked are going to go sometime, later this year, early next year. But we could then hopefully, while we're sharing this project, we could sell some weeks and make it a viable, business entity. And so we came up with this concept just before me going of, we do $5,000 all in. We know it's going to cost more than that, but just to kind of entice people to book. So, by the way, you can still book now. There's plenty of weeks available. We sold 22 or 23, something like that. So we have 23 weeks that will be booked. But I mean, a lot of these people are booking like July next year, June next year, December. So there's plenty. If you're watching this and you want to book a week, that's good until. So $5,000 is good until the 4th.
4th is Thursday.
Yes. Okay. So the 3rd would be the last day at midnight. So you can book it for $5,000, no taxes, no extra fees, and you can pick whatever day you want in the future. So you'd have the 24th pick, 25th, 26th pick, something like that. And we're going through the interviews right now. I have another one at 5:00. I did 2 this morning. And really, it's just a fun, half an hour for me to just get to know the people that are supporting us. It's fun. So I'm doing those meetings on Zoom and having a blast, just chatting with guys about what they do and who they are and what they're, telling them about the house and where we're at and all that stuff. So Laurel comes up, I forget the day, but sometime, that late that week, and we started putting the furniture that her and Michelle had gone and purchased. Now, the way that this thing worked out is they went to Scott's, which is they call it Scott's Antiques, but really it's just a furniture expo. It's kind of like a big convention type center, and you go there and there's all people bring and showcase all the stuff they do. Some stuff you can order, like the couch, the kitchen table, but some stuff is there, like you can pick chairs and pots and pans and plants and things like that. And so they outfitted the entire house before we even got there, which is great.
In Atlanta, right?
Correct, North Atlanta. Okay. And so we had gotten permission to put all the stuff in the garage before we got there. So Jeff and I moved everything from the garage while Mike was going to Ace and kind of getting things set up. We went to and dropping off the trailer and things like that. And so we went to get all the stuff in the house, and then Laurel came later that week. We put all the furniture in place. So Mike's out chopping up the ceiling, getting electrical in. Jeff and I are kind of dealing with getting the house set up. We needed to get a pool person. We needed to get a landscaping person. We needed to get a cleaning people. We needed to get a property manager. And I had scheduled with Jennifer to come and another young guy to come to kind of look at the property and talk about doing property management. These are people I'd met from referrals from realtors. So we had a lot to do to try to get lined up. So while that's happening, I'm ordering. So I'm ordering stuff, and so we had a budget of we just kind of threw a number out there of $150,000 between furniture and then function, the stuff. And what do we were probably at like 160, 170, something like that. If we take out the so we're close-ish, 165 something like that.
166, 914.80.
And so the help of cash flow crunch here, because I put down payments down and then we're buying trends of stuff, it was really great. It helped keep me in check. It helped keep me focused on phase one, because otherwise I could have gotten out of control and then we wouldn't have gotten it done. I'd still be there. So phase one, I knew I wasn't going to do the home theater. I didn't think I would do the office. So there were a few bonuses that we got done that really make the house feel like it's complete. It's better than any house I've ever had, and so it feels complete, even though we're not even close to where it's going to be in 2 years from now. So while Mike's out there doing his thing and it's hot as balls and he's out there sweating crazy, we're in the house still sweating for some reason in the air conditioning, but dealing with making beds and figuring out where everything goes, and then later on, like say 3 weeks in, Dane. So I'd put it out there and I started contacting some people. So thanks to all of you who are gracious enough to send me an email. I didn't respond to all of them because of the chaos. But I needed some help with the the internet situation, getting that set up and dealing with some of the AV stuff of running HDMI over Ethernet, things like that. So Dane got in his freaking Tesla and drove from New York City all the way down, overnight. And then we spent 3 days putting together all of the structure of our network, putting the structure together to get AV, audio, video, to and from the closet downstairs. And we basically pulled out a whole system and put a whole new system in, including, which was another real bonus, was I had my demo Blue Sound stuff for Blue OS for networking. I'd bought them just to test them, so I took them with me, and we ended up being able to set up 50% or 60% of the distributed audio system in the house, and getting that all set up as well. So Dane and I killed it. We got things like in between them, setting up light fixtures and testing out light switches and making sure everything's working and functioning, and the shades broke and then we fixed them and they broke again and we fixed them, so we were able to kind of get everything up and functional and working. So again, we're hoping that Michelle had come up and Maureen came up, and they kind of Mike's fiance Maureen, and they helped us periodically, and then they would go out and do some tubing and kind of explore the area and do some fun stuff with the kids and do some hiking and things like that. So we were able to kind of leverage their help a little bit here and there, and some painting and things like that. A couple more OG guys came up and helped out and kind of got things moving. And Waba had, he couldn't stay there forever, and so he had come and gone a couple of times, so I was doing some vlogging and stuff like that. But we were doing, say, 8 a.m. till whenever, midnight, 11, midnight every day, at least 12 to 15 hours a day for roughly 30, 29 days or 28 days or something like that straight of us, figuring things out, having meetings with, exterminators, and it seemed like every day there was something, dealing with the post office, trying to get the mailbox installed. They wouldn't deliver the mail, and they would deliver the mail, and they wouldn't deliver the mail. Getting UPS lined up, trying to figure out how to get it on Google Maps and Apple Maps. It's still not on Google Maps, but hopefully it'll be there soon. It's now on Apple Maps. And then, Jeff started to inventory things and start to take pictures and build a spreadsheet so we can have our, cleaners. Our cleaners came, working on our procedure there and how that's going to work. And so the great news about this whole project is I was able to get it done somewhere near budget, phase one, plus some bonuses, where one of the great parts about it was it felt like home, minus a couch. So for 36 days, I didn't sit on a couch, which is a miracle. The good news is that it really helped me realize how beneficial and how nice it feels to have completed projects. And so I put a hard stop on myself to don't take on any projects, don't take on anything, don't buy anything until we get everything done. And we'll never be done, but to really focus in on making this place feel like the Helen house does. And it was that pressure of, hey, I said August 3rd is the first week that someone can book, so I want to make sure that I have this thing ready for that first person. If the case they booked that week, the first week, which, somebody may or may not. So, when we had, you guys watched the videos, many of you that are probably watching this live stream watched all the videos, and kind of, I just think it was good. It was good. They're fun videos to watch. I think it was it was everything I had hoped it would become. I think there's probably a lot of long-term broad appeal to this kind of thing, not just from the guys that are watching this, but from their significant others and then extended family and relatives. And I just think it's a unique thing that, yes, people buy rental houses and yes, people fix them up and stuff like that. But this is such a unique thing that I don't know that anybody's ever really done. Certainly no one's going to set it up the way that I set up, because no one knows about all these products that I've been chasing for my whole life. So to have the ability to go there, and a lot of people had a lot of questions like, well, you're putting all these tools and all these things in the garage and all these things in the house. Who's going to use that on vacation? It's not really about that. It's about just immersing yourself in it and seeing what it could be like, living like what your house could be at your, wherever you live. And maybe that's something you do over the next 10 years or something that you do right now, and you call us up and have us design it. So, and then I know that, a large percentage of the, 20 or so people that book just want to help. They just want to support what we're doing. They appreciate it, and I appreciate them, and it's really fun to get on calls with these people. And so progression-wise, phase-wise, I think the things that we're going to do next, I'm probably going to do half the closet. I'll do the closets except for the master. So I'd like to do the closets soon-ish, this fall. I'd like to, once I get the outdoor kitchen and stuff figured out here at home base, we probably plan to do the outdoor kitchen in the wintertime, something like that. I'd like to get some gym equipment, like a rig and rower and bike and stuff like that there. And so all that stuff will come. Things like the sim room, the simulation room, and stuff like that will be a little longer term. The home theater is like 75% done. I just need to get some of the equipment. So as the proverbial budget allows, we'll go up and do these things, and I'll go and stay a week or two and do some fun stuff. We had drawn the giveaway winner. I actually have a call with him tomorrow morning to get him set up, figure out what he would like to do, whether he'd like me to go or not. And I'd say it's everything that I'd hoped it would be, and then some. And then the real telling sign is I came home here to Florida, I felt like I wasn't at home, and it felt, everything in Florida felt so cheap in comparison. The house is so amazing. Our pool doesn't work as well. It doesn't have as much. It doesn't have as many features. The air conditioning system is junk in our house. The water pressure, the water heater, the instant heat, hot water everywhere throughout the house because of how they pressurized the system and did a recirc line. The fact that I know that if I run the air conditioning cool, I'm not bleeding air everywhere like I am in the Florida house here. It's just great. It's great, and the garage turned out great. And we kind of just the way we'd planned the timing of it. Mike and I were the last two left the last couple of days, and whenever everybody went home, we were able to kind of coast into completion. So what we had set out to do, I think there was a strong sense of accomplishment. I know there was for me, and I'm sure Mike thinks the same, that where we were able to, we set a goal, and we not only accomplished it, but did, better than what we'd hoped. And the other real thing that, one of the things I was most worried about that house and why I didn't buy it a year ago was, it's really complicated. There's a lot of things to it, a lot of bathrooms, a lot of, zones in the air, dampers in the air conditioner and stuff like that. And it's built so well that it makes me wonder if I could ever build a house that good, I'm not trying to pitch people. Like, I was really shocked. I thought I'd have to fix a bunch of stuff. All we had to do is just check on how do things work. How does the steam shower work? And the shades weren't working, and so we changed some fuses and got that functioning software-wise. Just stuff like that. And then getting to experience the Blue OS system that anybody who's even somewhat savvy can connect something to Bluetooth in their car, can use this system. It's just the whole thing is great, and I can just really see the vision for what it's going to feel like when it's all done. And in a couple of years from now, when I have a full robust website, and then we start to use this model to chase and go to the next house, It's just super awesome. So anyway, we come back. We drove our cars nowhere, so we had to tow them all the way back to Florida. I got home on Saturday.
This is the last Saturday, the 16th, right?
Yeah. Okay. So Saturday, the 16th of July. And so we were gone for 36 days. And based on, when we left on the 10th or something, 11th, I think is when we left of June. And by the way, Michelle and the kids came up and spent a week. And the other bonus was to get the basement done. So that's like ping pong table, video games, tables. The only thing you have to do is get a 77 OLED and a Ambio soundbar down there, and that room's awesome. Done. Perfect. You can do some paint, maybe change out the speakers. Well, I guess nothing's done. But so I came home on Saturday, and I knew that I was leaving for Italy on Monday. Which I was not excited about, but I had committed. I committed to do it, and what the purpose of this was to go and develop relationships with the Italians. I think we're the number one dealer of MTM products in the U.S. So they're paying a percentage of my flights to fly out there, and I got some really nice flights because I don't want to sit in a plane for 11 hours miserable. So I bought these 6 months ago, and it seemed like a good idea at the time, and now we have to actually go. Michelle's super excited. We go to the airport. Just beat up. So we go to the airport, and I tell the whole story inside the Hex. But long story short, we decided to bag the idea. The thing that was up in the air is we didn't have a COVID test, and everywhere says you don't need it. So the thing that I was worried about was that everyone's rules are different, and so I've just had a meltdown. Standing there trying not to have a panic attack, and I just begged Michelle, whatever we're gonna do, I just want to go home. I got so much to do, so much to dig out of, and just so many cool things, and I just had this. I'm on a roll with completing things, and I just want to keep that going. And so I'm here. So we went home, and so I didn't want to end up in Amsterdam and have to backpack through Syria to get home somehow, and try to swim across the Continental Divide or something and to get home. So I don't want to do that. So
no Italy. All right, and this is good because you've prompted lots of questions here in the chat. So let's address some of these. So number one, from our friend Neil White, Matt, how many Ingalls rewards points did you accumulate while you were in Helen?
Yeah, I don't know, quite a bit. Triple points on.
At least 1,500. We know that much.
Some of those are Triple Tuesdays.
Let's see here. Ryan in the chat, Matt, what was the hardest part about retrofitting an already well-built house with OG spec goods, trying to decide on buying a house and perfecting it versus just building a customized home?
So if you don't have Mike, one of the difficulties, and I had this when I did you saw this when I did the house in Harbor Hills. You have to be willing to pay lots of contractors. Perry was basically on payroll. Mr. Perry, the electrician, having drywall people, and having to try to sub out all this stuff and try to get permits proper. And so if you don't have the Mike on payroll, then you gotta the most difficult part is dealing with contractors, and it's really not hard to deal with. You just got to pay for it. So the hardest part is paying for all of that. So if you're going to do like OEM plus, like I talk about, kind of like we did with the car, find a really nice house, maybe not quite up to spec, and then to do things like swap out refrigerators and relocate water heaters and do wiring for proper lighting and things like that. The biggest piece of advice I would give you is, if you can pull it off, the best thing to do, don't move in. Like if you can have two houses for a while, get it set up, do the remodeling stuff or the modification stuff. Find a house you don't have to remodel. Find a house you just have to modify, because there isn't going to be a house unless you're buying something in like Seattle or something that some tech billionaire built or something. Even then, you're going to want to do things to it, and so the more the dirty stuff you can knock out when you're not there, the better. So luckily, this house I wasn't doing any cabinet modification, and we were doing, especially inside. All the modification was outside in the garage, and so that was a huge advantage. But I especially in the current environment, I'd highly recommend it. I had a lot of fun doing the Harbor Hills house, despite the dealing with the HOA and things like that. But to buy something that's nice and then making it better is, and many times, probably way more fun than trying to build it from scratch, just because of all the stress and change orders and the racking up of your bank account. Someday I'm going to love building a house if I have an infinite budget. And if you can get there someday, I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. But just dealing with contractors, unless you can do it all yourself, and even then, do you want it to take 6 months if it's your one-man show?
All right, C-Mac wants to know, were you totally satisfied with Laurel's furnishings?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you do a lot of accoutrements and little thingies, little tchotchkes and things that make it feel like home, make it feel complete. Otherwise, you end up looking like a bachelor pad. So when you do things like, weird tables and weird chairs and stuff like that, weird end tables and things, she knows our style, and so that's great. I mean, I don't think there's anything there that I would tell her. We'd send it back if there's anything there that I didn't love. Things like putting deer antlers on the wall and stuff like that. You and I would never do that. But it's something that you kind of need to do in order to make it feel, a certain way. So it was fantastic. Her and Michelle, and then her daughter, Laurel's daughter, Ansley, they killed it. They furnished a whole house in like 2 days. It's pretty incredible.
All right, we got a super chat from Robert Peaster, $4.99 US. What are the factors that would stop you from borrowing the house to an individual?
I think the biggest thing would be if they wanted to do some sort of event, right? So if they were going to have too many people there, it just wouldn't be kind to the neighbors. It would call a lot of attention to us. I'm not interested in having a bunch of 20-somethings go and rent the house, because they just won't. That, and I know this is I'm generalizing here, but generationally they just don't. First of all, they're not old enough to know what the right thing to do is. Secondly, generationally, they just don't have the same. They have in general, not everybody, but by and large, they have a sense of entitlement. And so I spent $6,000 on this house, so I'm entitled. So that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people, either they have a sense of entitlement, like you owe me something because I'm, you're my slave because I paid you. And so those will be really the only two things would be, because the other thing I've moderated on is the house is pretty darn indestructible. The furniture is pretty easily replaceable and pretty much indestructible. Having all the wood, most of the walls, there's not a lot of exposed drywall. I mean, everything's tiled and finished. I mean, it'd be really hard to really mess things up. The flooring downstairs is already scratched up, and it's like it's some sort of epoxy finish anyway. So the house is really set up well for this kind of thing. And so really what I'm looking for is I'm just looking for families and people. I'm looking for somebody to take responsibility. And so if I don't get the sense of that, I'm going to ask them, say, look, this isn't for us to do here. It'd be a hard conversation to have, but in general, I just don't want, like, if you say, well, me and 19 of my best buddies are going to come here, and you're going to have to have the potential. I'm going to call you and kick you out of the house if I see it on the camera. We're going to put a camera out front, and just so I can see that there are too many cars there, because you can't have too many cars to blocking the neighbors and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm looking for people, intelligent people that aren't entitled. It's as simple as that. And most people that are going to do that, or they're going to sign up for it, 99 out of 100 are going to be fine.
AFH has a suggestion here. He says, Matt, please buy bear spray for the house. That bear is going to keep showing up until it gets fed. Did you ever see the bear?
Oh yeah, I walked right out on him. He just turned, looked at me, and walked away. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you're scared about that kind of stuff, and I've grown up in the mountains, or you just, just pay attention. I pay attention in life, so I don't know the bear spray is going to help you much.
All right, so back to the Darlington home for a minute. Bert wants to know, how did the grass look when you got home? Did it look any different?
Oh yeah, it looks much better. We'll do a follow up. I've got to do another treatment, another whatever they malagamite or whatever they call that stuff, the fertilizer. We got to put that down, put another level down, layer down. Even though I guess I shouldn't say that because you're not allowed to do it now. But it looks great. It looks super green, and the problem is the yard has a lot of weeds, so we started having Helen to spot treat it. So it's coming together.
All right, Kevin wants to know, how come every house you buy has a free poop geyser with purchase?
Yeah, Mike and Waba kept making fun of me. I didn't do anything to that toilet. It was clogged from the day we got it. So Monday I'm nervous that they're going to say, well, the whole house is blocked up, so you're screwed. You're going to have to rip out of the flooring and the pipes and everything. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
Craig S. says, it's safe to say the little bakery was a favorite. Yes?
Oy, yeah. So it's an Amish bakery.
Okay.
I think it's every Tuesday morning they make these like world famous cinnamon rolls, and people come from all over to get them. So you got to get there early. And those idiots kept buying them. I bought them once by accident. We just happened to go there on Tuesday morning. I'm driving by, and they're delicious. And I felt that, well, you guys saw in the video, but I felt sick the whole time I was there. You get a lot of you deserve it when you're there, and you're working real hard. Good news, I don't think I gained any weight.
It's impressive because you ate a lot based on the footage we saw.
No, it's just Waba's captured every snack I had. So I wouldn't eat for all day, and then have like a little cracker or something, and he would capture it. So making me look like a big fatso. Yeah. So.
Here Dane chimed in the chat. Here, it was awesome working with you guys. Glad we were able to get everything done in a few days. Have an awesome system with great Wi-Fi all throughout the house.
Yeah, that's key. Great couch, Wi-Fi works. Having a nice little desk and office. It's great. So just to kind of cue people in, because a lot of people had a question. You go to destinationog.com. You're like, man, there's no rules, there's no regulations. How do I know what I'm doing? First answer that it's freaking me. Like you're my buddy. You're renting it from me, and you're helping me pay for it, right? So I haven't done any rental agreements or anything stuff like that yet. We'll have that. But these first early adopters, you're helping us finance the thing and helping us get it done, move it forward. And so I'm working on the structure with Jennifer and what I want her to checklist. You saw that video I just posted up yesterday. I'm making a like a Word doc, bullet pointed checklist of all the things to check out. Like is there salt for the water softener? Did the dehumidifier get turned back on in the home theater? That, one of my favorite part about the whole house is the basement was really loud. And I was like, well, we'll just turn up the audio, but you can hear the utility room. Well, all of the noise was a dehumidifier. And all you do is just when you're down there watching a movie, just turn the dehumidifier off and it's silent. Because that air conditioning system's whisper quiet. The only other thing you can kind of hear sometimes is when the pressure pump turns on if somebody's up taking a dump or something, or taking a shower. You can hear that come on. But that's not nearly as loud as the dehumidifier. So when you're down there for an hour, you turn the dehumidifier off and you turn it back on when you leave. It's awesome. So that room is amazing. But I'm going to have, we made about 30 videos, maybe 25 videos of all the details of the house, the how-to stuff. How to change zones on the air conditioning system, how to use the steam shower, how to everything in the kitchen, where everything is, pointing directions. How do you get into the house? How do you set the alarm and disarm the alarm? How to use the pressure washer, all that stuff. Then I'm going to start making, where do you drive? Where do you eat? Where do you hike? And start making all that stuff. So we'll be sending that out to all the people to just kind of formalize it and kind of set it up. And in the beginning, I'm just taking the risk that people are going to be honest and not entitled. And so I'm doing 2 or 3 Zoom meetings a day. So, hey, worst case scenario, you pay $5,000 to hang out with me for an hour, and we can chat about life and business. And the first 3 we're talking about all kinds of stuff, talking about investing, and it's cool, awesome.
All right, lots of praise here in the chat from Mike F. Need a backstory on Mike F. for the Wash and Talk. When's it coming? So I looked. It is now live. It's 1 hour and 6 minutes and 32 seconds, and it's live inside the Hex.
So inside the Hex, $60. It'd be worth it just for that video. I haven't watched it yet, but Mike washes his F80, which is really dirty, in the Helen garage with all the gear, with all the stuff.
So there you go.
Hour-long wash and talk.
It's now live. Hexblog 0127. Let's see. Hey guys, this is from Florian. I'll be coming over to Florida from Germany. I was hoping to stop by and see OG on August 3rd or 4th. Well, we'll be here, Florian. Definitely come on by. That's a Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, we'll be here. Let's see. Lots of water gas was purchased at Ingles. Is that true? Mickey M.
Actually, I don't think anybody bought any water gas. So those points are more of a formality. It's kind of like getting tickets at the at Dave & Buster's, you know. You're not actually going to get anything.
C-Mac wants to know, are you satisfied with the made-in pans? I love mine.
Yeah, I really like them. When I first got them, I'm like, these seem kind of thin. But I love carbon steel. It's really motivating me. I want to get this because this house sucks. Everything I have is junk. I want to, redo and get it set up like that house. But yeah, the carbon steel stuff is nice. I'm sure there are better carbon steel pans, but it's nice. I like it a lot.
All right, Troops says Milorganite. That's what it's called.
Whatever
that's called.
It's just some pellets that you put on the grass.
Let's see. It would be great to see the collection of cars that come and visit. Require a signature photo shoot in the breezeway, like the main photo of Destination OG.
Another thing that we thought would be really cool would be to have like a camera set up in the room somewhere. Where people can sit down and record stuff, just clips.
No.
Kind of like you have a photo booth, but instead you have a like a testimony booth. So I'm thinking about how could I do that, and then how could we get the footage, that kind of thing.
Like on The Real World, what they call that, the confessional.
Yeah.
Let's see. A couple other people are talking about the active pressure washer videos. I appreciate you doing that. Looking into an active pressure washing solution from Jeffrey. What's the main benefit over a hose? I have strong water pressure and very clean PNW water, Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I mean, washing with a hose, it's just, I haven't done it in so long. I mean, I can imagine being stuck with that. The ability to use a foam cannon is the first, reason why most people transition to a pressure washer. But I think the biggest advantage for me is wheels. Being able to blow out all the dust and brake dust and stuff like that. You can do it with a hose. You use a lot less water than you would with a hose. Like a fraction of the amount if you care about that kind of stuff. But you just do a better job cleaning. It's a better user experience than getting the hose out and trying to wash a car.
Question from Mason with regard to the garage at the Helen house. Why not cut the Swiss tracks under the lift to get a little more flush?
Well, it doesn't do you any good, especially with the ramps. So when you cut around the lift, it never looks as good. Plus, it's a freaking pain in the butt to do. And so we did it. They did it at Emmanuel's garage. Just put it right on top. It's just way easier to do. So you can certainly do it. I usually do, but I wanted to put it right on top of the Swiss tracks. One is I didn't have to cut it, and two, it doesn't really add because you put the ramps. What you could do is you could cut around the lift, put the lift on the ground, and then not cut around the approach ramps. And yeah, I guess you'd gain 3/4 of an inch. But I just find it easier. That one weighs little enough that you can just put it right on top of the tiles.
Here's a good idea from Mark Joseph in the chat. While Destination OG sounds like my ultimate vacation, I've been 100% unsuccessful in convincing my wife. Please make a video teaching us how you train Michelle to approve all of your antics, or just have Michelle make a video and explain.
Yeah, so we did some stuff. I mean, this isn't like this. The only thing that's any different for a family is the garage, right? Otherwise, it's just a really dialed-in house that everything's going to work. You're going to have, like, the thing that your wife's going to enjoy so much is, like one of the things Michelle was complaining about is, like, they cooked, like, some fish or something.
Is that a different place?
Yeah, she's at, like, some $20,000 a week place that her, my brother-in-law and the whole family booked for, then his business partners and all that for somewhere in Destin. And this is a $20,000 a week place, something like that. This was this big house, and everything, of course, is nice but cheap. And so she's like, there's like 7 different types of forks, and then they make some fish, and like there's not a single like Rubbermaid container. Like, so you're trying to like, just put it on a napkin or something, and they have some jank paper towels, and they don't have like a real steak knife there, and all the pots and pans are like straight from like the Target bargain bin aisle, and this is like a $2,000 $1,800 a night place. And the reason they can make it that much is because it was on the water, and it's got like 6 bedrooms. It's similar to my house, similar to the house, but it just has a bunch of junk. It's a rental. It's there to make money. It's there to make money. And our house is not like that. And so when you go there, the kids are gonna have stuff to do because Helen's right there. There's all kinds of cool stuff to do in the mountains. The mountains, especially if you go in like the spring and the fall, is amazing, beautiful. Summer's fine too. It's hotter. It's still hot there, just like it's hot everywhere. But I'm telling you, have her just email me, and I'll have Michelle call her, and she can tell her. Michelle and the kids ran out of time, not stuff to do. They were there for 10 days. So the magic of this is like, let's say you guys had 3 straight whirlwind days. If you're going tubing and fishing and whitewater rafting and hiking with the kids and gem mining or whatever you want to do, all the stuff you can do around the mountains. If you got young kids, like Kate went to Babyland. Ryan went fly fishing. They went tubing down the little, whatever, the river there, the Chattahoochee or whatever it is. The greatest part is that, okay, the kids go to sleep at night, and you can, like, sit on a couch, like a nice, comfortable couch, and, like, watch whatever you want, because I got every subscription set there. It's all set up. It's all ready. You don't even have to log in. You get your laptop, you run to Ingles, get yourself some ice cream, and just hang out like you're at your house. Only it's probably way better than your house. It's way better than my house. So I don't see what there is to sell. It's a no-brainer. Forget, don't use the garage. He's not gonna care about the freaking garage. But for you, like, you won't be miserable. Maybe you're like a nice dad. Like, I'm miserable everywhere I go because everything sucks. Dealing with nothing makes me more grossed out than when the forks that like the cheap restaurants have. Like you go to RJ Gators or you go to TGI Fridays. The TGI Friday forks. Mm-hmm. It like cuts into your finger as you're holding on because it's so thin. Like, we don't have that. I've got Gorham, Lennox Gorham, silverware there. It's not fancy, expensive. It's just what it should be. It's nice. You go down and cook some smash burgers for the family on the Evo. It's amazing. So, yeah, shoot me an email and I'll have Michelle call her. I'll get it done for you.
Deagle456 says, just tuning in, I wanted to share my appreciation for the whole vlog series. It was so enjoyable to watch, especially the Mike and Mike episodes. Awesome editing. It felt like TV.
It was good to be off camera quite a bit, there, and, just kind of doing my thing, organizing, structuring, fixing, shifting stuff around, vacuuming corners and crevices, and just doing my thing, shopping for stuff. What do we need next? What are we missing? Measuring, kind of planning for the future. But I'm telling you, I did not sit down for 36 straight days.
All right, one quick car note for you from Joshua Woods in the chat. Matt, for your M2 exhaust flaps, did you check your fuses? You can pull a fuse to lock them in either an open or closed position.
I still haven't checked that yet, so I do need to check that out.
All right, let's see. David J., our friend in Alabama, quick question, non-home related. Well, kind of home related. Hope this isn't the wrong form. How do you think a non-stainless Cox reel would fare mounted on the side of a home similar to an Ely reel?
Yeah, you would do fine. I mean, they're powder coated. So, I would get the, instead of brass, get the stainless. Our version comes with all stainless swivel. It'll get dirty and you can clean it up, But yeah, it'll be fine. Get stainless hardware when you mount to the wall, too, so that doesn't rust, and you'll be good to go.
He also wants to know, is there going to be a giveaway for a week with Mike F. instead of Maddie?
We could, yeah. I'm going to ask the guy who won and say, want Mike to come? I'm sure I can talk him into going there. I won't have to talk anybody into going there. I'm telling you. I would tell you if it was just good. I might gloss over it, but it's amazing. It's awesome. I'm gonna figure out how to move there.
Yeah, that's another theme here in the chat is Matt's leaving Florida and never coming back.
Yeah, I don't think that would happen.
Troy wants to know, how about the snack vault, the candy vault? Will there be vending machines, snacks, drinks? What's the plan for the candy vault?
I think, no
Snack
vending
vault.
machines. It'll be just carte blanche. Yeah, I think.
Cinnamon rolls from the Amish bakery.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Yeah. I'm not sure. That would be cool. Maybe I could enlist the Amish people to come and stock it. When somebody goes there, night one, they come and stock it with all kinds of delicious stuff. I don't know if I want like crumble cake like eaten on my couch. I'm thinking more like snow caps and gummy bears and and stuff like that. Go drink in the kitchen, you freaking heathens.
Triple stuffed Oreos that you made. I saw that. Let's see. Suggestion from CMAC. Have a Uniden, R7 to borrow for borrowers of the house. It may lead to sales.
Yeah, not a bad idea. So many things we can do.
Neil White wants to know, are people with minivans excluded from staying at the Helen house?
Nah, you got money, I'll take it. Yeah, but generally speaking, most people aren't going to have a minivan. But you might bring the family in the minivan, and then I just wonder how, I would wonder your judgment, if you're allowing your family to have a minivan, that your regularness is going to be a little bit off the charts.
All right, then our own Mike F. From Ocala on Facebook posted, "This is one of the most rewarding work experiences of my life. Everything came together perfectly. I'm so pleased with the transformation. Really looking forward to the reaction the borrowers will have when they get to experience this amazing place. Phase 2 should be amazing."
Yeah, I think I'm excited about the outdoor kitchen at my house here that we're putting together. I got all the stuff. We ordered it months ago. And so we got all the stuff. I don't have a grill or an Evo yet for it, and I don't have any money to buy any granite, but we got the stuff. The cool part about this is that I think people are going to be able to do it themselves, no problem. Like, Mike's going to get mad at me. I'm going to start doing it because he's at home with his feet up watching Yellowstone season 4 again, and I'm here putting stuff together, so... But seriously, I think that the NatureCast stuff is it's so good, and I think it's going to be very easy for people to install themselves.
All right, Ben Finner says, "So, is there no refund if the Zoom call doesn't go well? $5K to chat with Matt for an hour?"
No, I'm going to be very liberal with this. Just give people money back. If you can't do it, doesn't work out. As long as you give us a couple of weeks. I think that's part of the appeal. And then another one of the Zoom calls I had, a question was, well, when's the next property? And if you do we get some sort of treatment, preferential? Absolutely. So all the people who help me now, I'm going to help you for sure. I'll be calling you first and seeing if you want to book first for whatever the promotion would be for that property. So that'd be another, I guess, enticement for people to go in and just book your week. And you don't even have to know what week you want to go yet. Figure there's 22 weeks and we're booking out basically 18 months, so there's plenty of time available where you probably get exactly what you want,
and you're saving yourself at least $1,500.
I think so. Yeah, I've got to sit down and really formalize that.
Let's see. Canadian Bacon says, "I think everyone who leaves the home should contribute by leaving something special for the next family." That's a good idea.
A little thing of mayo or some bread and butter pickles or something.
This question came up. Go ahead.
Our first, one of our first borrowers is sending. He's already sent Sam the Cooking Guy's Evo cooking guide, so that'll be there by the time the first person gets there. So that'll be cool.
Someone asked on Instagram here, is there already a location chosen for the next destination?
No. Yeah.
Bert thought it might be Destin, Florida. I guess that's where he lives, and Michelle likes to go there.
Michelle loves Destin. Maybe. I thought about a lot of different places. One that might be cool someday would be Lake Weir here, so people could come and hang out here at HQ, go to Disney and, go hang out on the lake and, have that kind of experience. That would be I don't know that one would be booked as much as, say, the Helen house would be, but who knows? If it's awesome, people would come. But again, what's going to happen over time is all these guys who, their wives are like, I'm not doing that, $6,000 to do what? To go so you can go play in a garage? No, we're not doing that. But then when they start to see, what it's like, I think these things are going to be amazing.
Aaron has a suggestion here. I think this has been discussed, but you can tell. You should throw QR codes for all of your items/selections that are throughout the house that take them straight to your site to purchase.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been talking about forever. Is the purchase part is great, but the main thing is just to answer people's questions. And so having QR codes on things like for example, the home theater. The video pops up on your screen. It just codes you right over to YouTube, and then the YouTube video would have links to the stuff. Or maybe we have two QR codes, one for the how-to and one for the listing of the products. And even stuff that I don't sell, just to have it in the kitchen. Hey, what was actually in this kitchen? You could scan it, screenshot, or scan it, save it. You can use that as a buying guide for when you go home. And then also even just to build the website out eventually, where I want to have each room chronicled. What is the listing of all the products in the room? We're going to make this great. I'm super pleased with how much we got done in 30 days. I don't think there's any very few people in the world that could get that done in the whole time we got it done. Unless you just hired a bunch of contractors, and you couldn't line it all up. You couldn't line that all up like we did. So, you'd have to rip out your cabinets out of your garage and take them up to the house. And steal all my tools. Last night I was trying to install the light, and I didn't have a screwdriver. I'm like, where's my screwdrivers? Oh, shoot. I took all the screwdrivers with me. They're all in the drawer, all organized. And Helen, where nobody is, and I'm not.
Nikki wants to know, does this count as our podcast for this week, or do we still get one on Friday?
No, we're going to do one Friday, too. Right. And then what we have coming up here is we're going to try something interesting. I've got a lot of excess inventory, and we're really organizing and structuring the company's ordering process. And figuring out how much stuff do we need in stock versus, in the past we just didn't have the manpower to do this. And so we're setting up the warehouse, going to clean out the storage units. So I'm going to run a bunch of different events where I'm live streaming and, teaching and discussing and running some promotions on some products. The first thing we're going to do is, August 2nd at 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm. 8 p.m. August 2nd.
Yeah, 8 p.m. August 2nd
Tuesday.
is I'm going to do a live stream, studio monitor, full tutorial from top down. I'm going to talk about the top systems down to the base systems and show how it works. Those that are watching will be able to kind of either call in or email in. We'll send you a special price list. I don't like to run sales, but think of this more of like a summer cleanup, and then I have to get my inventory in check and organized. And I have all this great stuff that I haven't. Some stuff I have an overabundance of, and so we're going to do some live. We're calling it private sales because I don't want to publish. We're not going to publish the pricing, but it'll be nice discounts on things while I'm teaching you exactly what you might want. Kind of like old school. Like if you came into Sound Advice and I'm live in your living room though. Talking about, feature, advantage, benefit, and here's the best system, and here's working your way down. Here's what you might want, and people can ask live questions. So I think we're gonna test this out and maybe try to do some more of it with pressure washing systems or detailing packages and do some more stuff. I've always said there's likely to be a point in the future where I have to work for it, because I've been so charmed and I make a video and everything sells. And it still works, but I kind of want to start this process of, I think we're headed for a deep recession, and so I want to start working before the recession hits. I want to start working hard before that. Kind of like when COVID hit, I said, look, now's the time to double down, not to quit and to hide. It's freaking nonsense. It drives me crazy when I hear, and this is like the common thing to say, well, during COVID, I had more time, so I XYZ. How the heck did you have more time? Weren't you worried the whole thing was going to come crashing down? Go to work. Get stuff done. Change the world. Do something. Oh, I had time. Why did you have time? You should have less time. So anyway, I guess when your people are sitting at home and employers paying them, it's
So
nonsense.
this is 2 weeks from yesterday, August 2nd, 8 p.m. Audio, studio monitors.
Yep.
Okay.
Then a couple of days after that, then we're gonna do we're gonna try some different times. What was that? That was Friday at 2 p.m.
Yeah, so during our normal podcast time, August 5th.
Yeah, so not
second
next
one.
week, or not this week, not next week, the following week. Then we're going to do a stereo system, audio, talking about garage and home theater and different products and things I've learned. And then we're going to do another one, I think that next Tuesday on August 8th or 9th. And we're going to try that at 5 p.m.
Eastern.
And we're going to do wireless systems. And then the other thing I'm going to do, which I think people will find funny, is I'm going to do a full day live stream of me tool grid organizing the Milwaukee Master Collection accessory package. And then we'll
Sounds
probably
riveting.
Yeah, I'd like to do some stuff with detailing products, and just do some kind of live stream stuff. I guess it's infomercial, right? But personal. Where the couple of hundred people that watch it live can, get a little bit of a deal on something, and which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Why would I give someone a deal if I'm working harder teaching them about it? I think I should charge more, but we'll see how that goes.
All right, so we got a couple super chats here. First one from Philip Zeems. Where is he? North Carolina. He's the guy who won the week at the Helen House. He says, "Thanks for the rigged giveaway, guys. Ha ha ha. I appreciate it."
Don't get me in trouble, Philip. I did not rig anything. He's not from Florida.
That's true.
And well, then people are going to say when I give away the M2 and somebody in Florida wins it, like, well, you only gave someone in North Carolina the giveaway for the winter week because you didn't have to send them anything. So yeah, no, not rigged.
Then another super chat from Sahas. Are you thinking about installing an EV/Tesla charger at the Destination OG house?
Yeah, we'll probably put one in there at some point, but I didn't do it now because I didn't have the darn thing, and I just ran out of time and energy. But I don't really care that much about that. You could just plug it in the wall.
So Dane came from New York and made it somehow. At the Tesla,
you
right?
just plug it in the wall, and there's plenty of superchargers around. But yeah, I mean, maybe, I guess we'd put one in at some point. A lot of it would be dependent on if I had a car to charge, but, it depends.
Danny Israel has a good name for that. OGQVC. That's lots of letters, but yeah. And then Totus has another Inside the Hex coming about the Italy trip. People are still asking about Italy. So
yeah, I vlogged it. I was planning on that was supposed to be the start of my trip to Italy, vlogging it. And
so this is before you made the...
Yeah, this was gotcha. Turned into disaster.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody, for the questions, comments, for supporting us. DestinationOG.com is where you would go to book your week.
Yeah. I need some more people. I need to dig out of this hole. So please go book your week, and then, hey, worst case scenario, you'll pull a fast one on me. I just told you can get out of it. So you book the week, and then you get to hang out with me for half an hour, and then you can just cancel it.
There you go.
Don't do that. Yeah, we'll see you guys on Friday.
Friday, 2 p.m.
Look forward to it.